And members of the Cuban delegation to the summit have also strongly rejected the U.S. executive order on Venezuela. The Cubans say the measure goes against the interests of the people of the continent.
This decree has surprised us because this decree does not represent the interests of Latin America. And when I say it does not represent the interests of Latin America and the Caribbean, it is precisely Havana. CELAC has declared the region a zone of peace. This is because no Latin American government will support President Obama, not one.
The campaign to repeal that executive decree against Venezuela is pressing ahead. Venezuelan authorities say that more than 8 million people have signed so far, and more are still lining up in Caracas and across the country to add their names to those denouncing U.S. interventionism.
The race to reach 10 million signatures is entering its final phase. For many putting their names to this petition, Panama will be the culmination of a campaign whose scale has taken even them by surprise.
I think this summit is very important so that all of Latin America and all the countries in the world who are supporting this activity in Venezuela can speak with one voice to ask for the repeal of this dreadful decree.
Social movements from across Latin America are already on their way to Panama to press the same message.
Faced with this attack the United States has made with the executive decree that threatens Venezuela, the Bolivian Trade Union Confederation, the COB, will be traveling to Panama this Wednesday to propose the creation of a Latin American Council in defense of democracy in our countries, to take care of Latin America's sovereignty, so Bolivia will propose setting up this Council of Labor Unions.
Members of Parliament and mayors from El Salvador's ruling party added their voices to the campaign.
The people of El Salvador are joining this global protest against the United States declaring Venezuela a threat to their security. Venezuela is fighting for its people. It's a revolutionary process based on sovereignty, respect for the Constitution, and their own values. So we support their position.
While Central America's only indigenous Nobel Peace Laureate suggested that President Obama should change course immediately.
I don't believe that any Nobel laureate should threaten the use of weapons or use of force, or even lessen invasion, because Nobel laureates exist to mediate, to facilitate dialogue, to begin mediation, to promote diplomacy, to show that wars do not make sense. This is why many Nobel laureates do not agree with the Obama decree.
If all these voices come together in Panama, it could be a testing time for Washington's relations with the region.
And Telesur's correspondent Jorge Gestoso is following the summit preparations in Panama.
Here in Panama, everything is ready to start the Summit of the Americas on the 10th and 11th. That means Friday and Saturday. Today, the presidency of Panama announced that 10 of the heads of states are going to be arriving on Thursday. This morning, a press conference has been taking place with a group of representatives of the civil society of Cuba who flew directly from Cuba, and they stated very clearly that they are the ones who really represent the civil society of Cuba. They're going to be participating in few forums that are parallel to the summit, and also in the People's Summit that starts on the 9th through the 11th. We're going to be reporting every detail precisely from Telesur English, and we get back to you now in studios.